and welcome everyone. Honoree-Louise here with another TBR video. I know that I have been having only TBR video and no wrap up, and you guys just watch me talk about books that I'm going to read without actually hearing what I thought about them. But I promise some wrap up are coming. I'm just having a really busy time trying to move from New York to New Orleans. But I want to film a TBR video for July because I'm participating in 2 month-long readathon in July, and also I kind of want to film one last video in New York. Here you can see that I don't have my bookcase as a background anymore, and I'm going back to my very first background in the living room because my bookcase is now in tatters, kind of. Anyway, let's get to it. The 2 readathons that I'm participating in are the Fuckathon and the Fullmetal Readathon. So, because all but one of the books that I'm going to read in July is going to fit into one of the challenges for the Fuckathon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the Fuckathon and then go through the book that I'm going to read for it and how they fulfill the challenges. Then I'm going to go to the Fullmetal Readathon and introduce it and quickly go through the book that I had mentioned before and tell you how they fulfill the challenges for the Fullmetal Readathon, and then tell you what is the one book that I read just for the Fullmetal Readathon. Okay, so now let's get to it. So the Fuckathon is a month-long readathon in July that happens every year. I think this is the 2nd year that it was organized, and it is hosted by Honoree-Louise. So the premise of the Fuckathon is that you say fuck to every type of injustice and horrible institution that still exists. So I'm going to put the link to Honoree announcement video down below, so you can go there, check it out, and see all the challenges. Honoree also made a playlist last year for all the challenges last year, which kind of overlap with this year, and she is also making the recommendation for books to read for each of the challenges this year as well. This year, Honoree had made a bingo card with all of the challenges on it. You can see it around here. And what you've got to do is to make an F in it. So the F can be small or big. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the books that I'm reading and then tick off the bingo to show you how I'm gonna make an F. Now, let's get to it. So the first book that I'm going to read for the Fuckathon is the group book, The Songs of Self-Regard by Toni Morrison. I already got the ebook from the library, so I'm definitely gonna read it. The second book I'm going to read for the Fuckathon is Song for a Wyld by Lynne. So this is a book about a deaf girl that makes connection to a wyld that cannot hear or sing in the same frequency with other wyld. This book fulfills the challenge, Fuck Ableism. Read a book with a main character with visible or invisible disability. The second book I'm gonna read is Bride by Ibi Zoboi. I hope I pronounced her name right. This book fits into the Fuck Gentrification challenge. Read a book with characters who are fighting or dealing with gentrification of their community. This is a Pride and Prejudice retelling that happens in a gentrifying neighborhood in Brooklyn. It follows Julie Benitez, who is our Lizzie Bennett. She is Afro-Latino, and as far as I know, all of the cast are people of color. Now, the next book that I'm going to read is Me and White Supremacy by Layla and Saad. As you can probably tell, this book fits the challenge Fuck White Supremacy. Read a book that challenges white supremacy ideology. So as far as I know, this book mainly targets a white audience, and it takes the reader through a 20-day challenge in order to understand their own white privilege and their own participation in white supremacy. So as a person of color, I am not quite the target audience for this book. but I feel like all of us, especially non-black POC, still participate in some extent in the system that support white supremacy. So I feel like it will still be very helpful for me. If you look at the bingo card now, you can see that I had made a line, and then I'm going to make 2 more lines for my F. So let's get to it. The next book I'm reading is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the only book that I have physically right now, and I hope that it's not getting lost in the mail when I try to ship it to New Orleans. So this is the second book in the Six of Crows duology. I've been reading Six of Crows and I'm anticipating finishing it by the end of June. So I'm picking this for the Fuck Capitalism challenge. Read a book with main characters that try to subvert, cheat, swindle, survive, and make the best of a capitalist system. This also fits into the Fuck Ableism challenge because one of the main characters, Castbreaker, walks with a limb in one of his legs. The next book that I'm going to read is Erotic Stories for Punjabi Widow by Balli Kaur Jaswal. I hope I pronounced this right. And I'm reading this book for the Fuck Theological Fundamentalism or Religious Intolerance challenge. Okay, this is a challenge where you read a book where the main character practices a religion different from yours. Okay, since I'm not religious, I basically can read book with any type of religion in it. Take as I grew up in a family that mainly practiced Buddhism, I want to try finding a character who is not a Buddhist. This book is about Nikki, who is from an Indian immigrant family living in London. From the synopsis, I saw that she is from a traditional Sikh family, and Sikhism is a religion that comes from the Punjab region of India. Now I kind of have an F, a small F, but then I can still make it bigger by adding these two. So the next book is going to fit both the Fuck Book Elitism challenge and Fuck Slut Shaming challenge. The book I'm choosing for these two challenges is The Duchess Deal by Tessa. The reason I'm choosing this book for Fuck Slut Shaming is because it was recommended on the Google Drive for this particular challenge. So I'm not quite sure how it fits into the challenge, but we'll see. The reason I picked it for Fuck Book Elitism is because romance in general, I usually have a reputation of being trashy. So now I have a big F and I don't truly have to do the other two challenge, but why not? So the last book that I'm going to talk to you about for the Fuckathon is Kings of the Wyld, and this is about a group of menagerie who already retired having to come back together in order to go to rescue the daughter of one of them. And it fits into the Fuck Ageism challenge. Read a book that had a main character that is 50 years or older living their best life. The last challenge is not actually reading a book, but is fuck it yourself, do something utterly selfish for yourself. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna be spontaneous about it. So now we're done with the Fuckathon. Let's go on to the Fullmetal Readathon. As you can probably tell, the Readathon is inspired by Fullmetal Alchemist, which I haven't read, but I'm hoping to read soon. You will see why. And this Readathon is being hosted by Sarah, novel Sarah Deputy. I'm going to link the announcement video and all the other information down below. Okay, you need to choose one of the two brothers who are main characters in the series, and I chose Edward simply because his prompts are more in line with the book that I already planned to read. So the first prompt for Edward is training. Read a book where the character has to travel elsewhere to achieve their goal. So I'm going to use King of the Wyld to achieve this, because obviously this group of Menagerie need to travel in order to go to rescue the daughter. The second prompt is human transmutation. Read a book that has a cover revamp. I feel like a lot of books is going to fit this, but I know that the Duchess still has these two different covers here, so it fits. The third prompt is certification. Read a book with a competition or a test. And this is where the only book that I don't read for the Fuckathon comes in. I'm going to read A Gathering of Shadows by Schwab. So I read the first book, A Darker Shade of Magic, a long while ago. I attempted to read listen to the second book, but like I got kind of annoyed with the Layla, and I wasn't sure if it was the character or the narrator. So I'm going to try to start it again, but this time with either physical book or an ebook. Okay, let's move on. The fourth prompt is truth. A time of starting over, start a new series, or read a standalone. So any standalone, I have quite a few standalone up there in my TBR. So any one of the work. So let's say Erotic Story of Punjabi Widows. The next prompt is the hot-headed brat. Read a book with a hot-headed characters or a character with a temper. And for this one, I have to go with Layla from A Gathering of Shadows. She annoyed me because of her temper. But, well, the next challenge is Battle with Homunculus. Read a book that has a theme of at least one deadly scene. And for that, Bride, actually it had Bride as the title. It completely fits into the prompt. The last prompt is regain what is lost. Pick a book with one or more of the following themes. 1. Found self. 2. Found items. And 3. Found family. For this prompt, I'm choosing Crooked Kingdom, because obviously the group of characters here, the assembled cast, fit into the found family trope. In case I don't get into any of this book to fulfill the prompt for the Fullmetal Readathon, then I can also use equivalent exchange in order to fulfill the prompt by actually reading the mangas or watching the anime. So that's why I'm saying that I'm going to start the series today. I hope that I can read the manga instead, because I'm more of a manga person than an anime person, if that makes sense. But it's also harder to get the manga during the pandemic, so we'll see. Anyway, that's all for my TBR for July. Hopefully I will be able to have a wrap up for you guys very timely right after July. We'll see. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I see you all in my next video. Bye!